Oh my goodness. I'm having an interesting
Uh,
conversation with Stephanie. I'm Jeff Marmons. We're with Growth Sandbox and talking about a learning series that we have coming up and why it's important. I think we just need to hit record, Stephanie, on what inspired you to focus on this and bring this foundation to what's become our framework on agile marketing, KPIs and OKR, scoring, and ideation as key components for growth.
yeah. I mean, this is more than just a strategy, Jeff. We are doing this because it makes a difference. It really does. I've worked in many different organizations, many different working styles. When I learned some of these key components and then put them together, it made such a huge difference in my day to day, in my execution, in the goals that I was hitting, in the way in which I approached my work, and the way in which I approached teams working together. It made a huge difference. And this is why I'm teaching it, because I want to make a difference in businesses' lives to be able to realize that operating in this way will have a real impact on not just their revenue goals, which it will, but it'll have a real impact on their culture and the way people work and the way people feel accomplished in their business.
Well, what's the why though? I mean, you've got a bunch of examples. There's got to be a case study example, if you will.
Yeah. Well, my favorite case study examples is when I was working at a company called Power. It's where I actually learned part of this course, which we'll get into around scoring your work for impact. I came in there to set up their email program about a year in. I was actually running a very small marketing team there. And so I sat in on these conversations and the development of this stuff, right? And what I was able to do is, with my team, come up with a plan on how we were going to hit a 40% quarter over quarter revenue goal, which is steep, by the way. That is a steep curve for any business to
Yeah.
achieve, let alone one that is, the average contract value being in the hundreds and things of that nature, where you can't really go after whale deals or something like that to try to get that growth goal, right? And so our team got together, we put everything on a whiteboard, we had a really fun session. Nothing was a bad idea at that point. And then we took all of those ideas that we came up with and looked at as much data as we had, as much data was out there on the internet about specific kind of project ideas, and ran it through this scoring framework. And we hit 40% quarter over quarter growth at about 8 weeks in. We still had a third of the quarter left to go, and we had already gotten there. And I can't tell you the
So
excitement that
it
you
was a whole
feel.
new level for you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Sounds like it.
excitement, the team morale, the like, "Yeah, let's keep going." And once we hit that 40%, it wasn't like, "Oh, well, we've hit our goal, so now we're done." It was, "How far can we really take this?
Right.
Why?"
But this all kind of sits on agile though, right?
Absolutely.
This is agile methodology at the core, which we are big believers in and try and drink our own champagne as it were. But what are the principles of that? Why is that critical?
Well, it's critical because you have to be able to operate fast in today's world. And I've sat on teams where developing an email series takes 2 months of work. An email of 6 series, right? 6 email series. That is not fast enough in today's world. It's just not. You have to get to the point where you can iterate in small improvements and learn quickly if that's going to help you achieve your goal. You have to be able to do that. And Agile enables that.
Mm.
There's a saying I heard from Mark Cuban: if you run with elephants, you're either going to be fast or dead. And in today's world, with AI, with the internet, with information being accessible, everything around you is an elephant.
Okay. But there's a layer of putting KPIs and OKRs together with that, right? In the way
Yeah.
that you approach goals.
Yeah. I mean, moving fast is a key component of it, but you can certainly run fast in the wrong direction. So, knowing what you're going after, what the highest levers are to impact and understanding that those are the things that are going to drive what you ultimately want, and building all of that fast action towards that thing is equally as important.
We've got agile methodology. You're incorporating KPIs and OKRs. Is there more to that? I want to ask you how ideation fits in.
Yeah. So what this course ultimately teaches, there's 4 parts to it. You start with looking at your KPIs and the right KPIs, looking at your leading metrics, because those are the levers that you can really pull. When you begin to develop your objectives and key results, that's the second week. So, objectives and key results go after what are the levers I'm pulling right now to achieve growth. The third part of the week, this is the part you're talking about, is where ideation and scoring comes in. So that's when you say, okay, I know where I'm headed. I have this end destination on the map. And what are the roads I'm going to take to try to get there? So you sit down and you look at all the things that you could possibly do. Let's say you want to impact newsletter subscribers. What are all the things that I can do to increase newsletter subscribers? Because I know if I increase newsletter subscribers and 20% of my newsletter subscribers buy from me, I'm ultimately increasing my revenue, right? My lagging metric. So, what are all the things that I can do? What podcasts can I be featured on? What big news station can I get to pick us up? How much do I need to post on LinkedIn about it? How many friends do I need to call, et cetera, et cetera. Then you take all of those ideas and you look at what data you have currently in your database of any activities that you've done, what data is out there from other people, other experts in the industry that may have run some of these projects, and make a score for impact, a confidence on the impact, and then how easy is it to get out the door. That gives you a focus on your highest impactful ideas, highest priority, a priority score. Now, it's not like black and white. If it doesn't hit high on the list, it doesn't ever get done. But it is something that will provide focus for your team so you can move things in and out quickly. Then to finish up, the fourth part is where you actually get into the agile methodology. Tie a pretty bow around all of those.
Right, but there's ways that ideation contributes, right? This is part of a more innovative growth strategy, better work culture. How's ideation contribute to that?
Yeah. Well, it gives everyone a voice. People get a voice to say what they think might work, what they think might not work. In the implementation of this, the people on your team are presenting the ideas, presenting the why behind their ideas. They're the ones that are looking at impact and looking at confidence. And then they have a chance to come back and question, what your team is doing, what you're going through the planning section of it. This is typically before you get into the start of a quarter
Mhm,
because you
mhm.
want this already set before you get there. But it gives everyone a voice and everyone a say so. And it also is like a level playing field for everyone's idea, right? It's not this culture where the CEO says, you go do this, and then everyone just kind of jumps. And this way, you're building together as a team, like you're building the ship that you're going to go put out into the ocean and row, and you're doing it together. It drives a collaborative nature above all, and no one feeling left out.
We like that collaboration in a big way. Before we decided to make this part of the educational offering for business leadership, you had some experiences at other companies where you were able to gel parts of this together and effectively implement. So in other words, you've got some stories where this has been successful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of companies that I worked for, and also our company, Jeff, we started it from the beginning. But there was a company I worked at where I didn't start there as a manager. I started as an independent contributor. And through the course of my work there, I ended up leading a small team, part of a larger organization. And when I stepped into that position, I brought my people with me and I said, hey, we're going to go through this exercise and we're going to take the company's goals, right? And we're going to build our team goals around the company's broader goals. And then we're going to drive our work and our effort for this, which will allow us to have conversations with people who, randomly throw in ideas or want to change up our work to say, hey, like, this is what we're out to impact. Where does it fit on this? Right. What I got from my team at the end of that was that,
Mhm.
one, this is the first time they ever felt like they knew what they were doing in their work. The organizational awareness of my team increased by over 300% or more, and the organizational awareness of what my team was doing also increased.
If I am a business that wants to do this, to integrate agile into marketing, coordinate my sales and marketing efforts, get KPIs and OKRs and scoring and ideation working as part of this growth plan. If people are going to watch this and we can have them take away something, what are some first steps they can take?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of resources on our website about kind of these individual parts. You can read about ICE scoring or RICE scoring, which are two different modalities in that kind of third section. And also take a look at KPIs. You can get your team together and really identify your leading and lagging metrics, build OKRs. There's a lot of resources out there. The course shares extra resources that you can go take a look at. So if you want to get started, I would get your leadership team together and get everyone aligned on, can we implement this across the company? Because that's where the magic is when everyone is operating in this way. And then get aligned on what those metrics are. The course is really designed to do that for you in a methodological way. So you will take the course and we'll start with those leading and lagging metrics. And we will really get into the nitty gritty of what are those for your company and really have those conversations before we go build OKRs, before we then introduce scoring, and then before we work to integrate Agile into how your company works. That is where you get the most value. If you really need some help in getting it implemented in your company, I would go take a look at the course and see what you can do to get it signed up. We even have a deal going on right now, Jeff, if you buy more than one seat. So if you bring extra people with you, you get 50% off even the early bird price, which is phenomenal. It'll never be offered at this price again.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm excited about the learning series soon. Thanks for working hard
Yes.
on that.
All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.